Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. 4 Mount Pleasant athletes were transported to Christus Mother Frances Hospital Thursday night around 10:45 p.m. following a semi-truck Mount Pleasant school bus accident on State Highway 271 near Talco. One coach and the driver of the semi-truck died, and another is in critical condition. 18 student athletes riding in the bus were injured. 4 of the students were airlifted to area hospitals. The semi-truck crossed over the median, sideswiping the school bus, and struck an auto driven by assistant coach Angelica Beard, age 30, who was killed in the accident. There were no students in the auto. Silver Springs resident and former Lady Cat basketball coach, now Lady Tiger basketball coach, and girls athletic director at Mount Pleasant Independent School District, Tina Carrillo, was on a second school bus that was not involved in the accident. Silver Springs police were called to the 100 block of Van Sickle Street in reference to a disturbance. There they found the boyfriend of Christina and Serafino, age 25, had a stab wound in his chest area. Serafino admitted stabbing him. Serafino is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, family violence. It was also found that she had 2 misdemeanor warrants as well, one for possession of drug paraphernalia, the other for violate promise to appear in justice of the peace court. Hopkins County Sheriff's investigators received information of methamphetamine located at a motel in Silver Springs. A search warrant was obtained, and a search of room 204 at the location led to methamphetamine, a glass pipe, and fake Social Security cards along with fake permanent resident cards. These were located with the Social Security number and other identifying information for Juan Carlos Gomez Rodriguez, age 26. Gomez Rodriguez was working for a local contractor at Prim Stadium, where investigators found him and made the arrest. At the location, he admitted to the meth and the fake IDs. He's in Hopkins County Jail, charged with fraud, use, possession of identifying information, more than 5 items but less than 10. He's being held on a $50,000 bond for that charge. He's also charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Silver Springs police responded to a call in reference to a theft at Dollar General store on South Broadway Thursday. There they found Christopher Leon Huddleston, age 38, of Silver Springs, in possession of the stolen property. As officers sought to make the arrest, he ran from the officers. They quickly caught him. Huddleston is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with evading arrest, detention with previous conviction, and he's being held, also being charged or being held for a parole violation, the parole violation out of Austin. He's held on a $10,000 bond for evading arrest and without parole on the state parole violation. Almost a month to the day, Huddleston had attempted to evade arrest. Silver Springs police officers saw a man running across the street, chased by the manager of a convenience store. The store manager was stating that he had just been robbed. The officer exited and gave chase, called in other officers to assist. They found the man, who was trying to evade the officers, sitting near a railroad track drinking a Coors beer that he had taken from the store. That's right, Mr. Huddleston. When the Special Crimes Unit served 2 warrants on Juan Manuel Rodriguez Aguilera, age 48, of Silver Springs, marijuana and methamphetamine were in plain sight. The search of the room found even larger amounts of methamphetamine in 2 sets of digital scales. Rodriguez Aguilera is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, more than 4 grams but less than 200 grams, $30,000 bond for that. Possession of marijuana, more than 2 ounces but less than 4 ounces, a $2,000 bond for that. And a warrant for cruelty to livestock animal neglect, $10,000 bond, and a warrant also for cruelty to non-livestock animals, a $10,000 bond for that. Raymond Edward Daft, age 51, of Commerce, was driving his Toyota in the wrong direction on a one-way street in Cumbie when the Cumbie law enforcement officer saw him. Daft presented the officer with an expired driver's license, and a records check showed that the license was suspended. Daft gave consent to search the vehicle, and the officer found a small plastic container on the passenger side with 2 different types of pills. Both were listed as a controlled substance. Daft was driving the wrong way in the 100 block of Donaldson Street near Cumbie Schools, a drug-free zone. He's in Hopkins County Jail, charged with 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 3, under 28 grams, in a drug-free zone. Don't forget the Hopkins County Longbeards of the National Wild Turkey Federation is hosting their annual Hunting Heritage Banquet Saturday evening at Silver Springs VFW Hall on 1 Veterans Way. Doors open at 6 p.m. There are games, live auction, and silent auction for hunting equipment, wildlife art, and guns. Bodacious Barbecue is catering the event. Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats track team competed at a Lindale meet on Thursday, and we get results from Wildcats track coach Matt Young.
Great night last night. Lindale put on a great meet. Hallsville was there. Great to see some district competition. Our kids kind of get to go toe-to-toe with some guys, along with Jacksonville, Lindale, Hallsville, Wills Point, Pittsburgh. So it was a good meet. Good night overall for varsity. We finished fourth, right at about 15, 20 points away from second. So just a couple little things swinging. We ended up second overall. JV did finish second. And so a good night. Started out in the field events, had a great day at discus. Josh Thompson won the discus with a throw 125. DJ Hall took second with a throw 120. And we still have Gideon Gregory had an off day. So we really feel good with what we're bringing to the table in discus. Ian Blanche had a good day in shot put, got third, and competed really well. He's been doing a lot of powerlifting. It's been nice to get him back in the mix. So we got points out of there. Tyson Goodson in triple jump continues to excel. He took third took a fourth with a 41-foot jump. It wasn't a day to have that kind of jump, so it's really exciting to me to see what he ends up doing as we get closer to district, kind of a crosswind and some other little factors. And so pleased there. So that's what we had coming out of field events. Our 2-milers ran well. Landon got a little bit tired. It was a hot day for a 2-mile. Landon ended up taking, I believe, a fourth, and Vickery was, I believe, a sixth. So not the normal points those guys bring, but good runs. They were kind of chasing some times, a little bit against the elements. We didn't run a sprint relay this week. We're still working on getting those guys together. 800-meter, Eli Sellers ran a 2:09. He took a fourth place. Got points for the team. We're still looking for that time to drop for him, and really expecting at any moment just with the work he's putting in. But running well, like how he looks. In the 110 hurdles, Terrell Turman took second, Landry Tyson took third. Both ran the low 17s. Looked really good over the hurdles, competed really well. They're working on some little things with those two guys, but great to see them finishing the way they did, second and third. 100 meters, Ryan Humphreys took second. I believe he ran an 11.2 AccuTrack time. We've been handheld all year until last night. So great to see him run that in the 100. Really kind of set him up for some good showdowns down the road in district. Our 4x2 ran. Got some new guys on it. Didn't run a great time, but ended up placing and scoring some points for the team with Tyson Goodson, Terrell Turman, Day Dugan, and Lawrence Worth. So we're looking for those guys to continue to improve and see what they can do for us district-wide. The 300 hurdles, Humphreys took second, got edged out by a guy from Hallsville, kind of a preview of a great race that'll be coming in district. We had Landry Tyson. His time continued to drop, ran a low 43, and he took, I'm trying to think here, 1, 2, I think he was fourth. And then we had a surprise, really excited, Mason Buck ran. First time he's ran at a track meet in high school, ran a low 42, took third. And so a really great experience for him. He's been putting in the work, getting ready, and we were finally able to get him to meet, and so really excited for him, and it was great to see a smile on his face. And then our milers ran. Our man Vickery got edged out at the end. It took a second. And then Landon Thornton also got points for us, finishing in the top 6. Finished with a mile relay. We're still jockeying there for legs. Who's going to beat it when it comes to district? We ended up fourth overall in the race with Nabian Ramirez, young freshman for us, ran a good first leg. Landry Tyson ran solid. Michael Jefferson was our third leg, and then Ryan Humphreys brought it home. So we got a lot of guys. Our JV guys ran well too. We got guys on both those teams trying to be the 4 that we got at district. And just like how our kids are competing, they put in a lot of work during the week. We're almost to the point where we back off of them, and that's where our times really drop each year. I mean, our kids lift the day before the meet and really are pushed to continue to improve throughout. And really the meets for us are just a workout where we get to leave and have, get to eat some food before we come home and get to run against somebody with a chance at a medal. We really just continue to push them to improve. So we're excited how things are laying out. We go to Mount Pleasant next week. We've got Kennedale the following Thursday for a select few, and then we have district on a Monday, Wednesday this year. So we're really narrowing down our days. We're looking at the objective each day and really making sure we peak at the right moment.
We'll have a Lady Cats track report from Lady Cats track coach Tristan Abram later. The Saltillo Lions track team competed in the Patriot Relays Thursday at Prairieland, and 3 Lions placed and scored points. Dakota Patridge got second-place finishes in both the 3,200-meter and 1,600-meter runs. Walker McGill got third in the 3,200-meter run, and Hendrick Rios was third in the 1,600-meter run. The Cumbie Lady Trojans softball team improved their district record to 3-3 with a solid 27-8 win at Fannondale on Thursday. Paige Seeley got the pitching win for Cumbie, going an inning and a third with 3 strikeouts and 4 walks. Bailey Busby and Carly Talley also pitched. The Lady Trojans had 3 inside the park home runs. Alyssa Morgan, Busby, and Elise Bullock had 1 each. Morgan was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs, and Busby was 3 for 3 with a triple and 4 RBIs. Bullock was 2 for 3 with a double with 2 RBIs. Abby Baxter drove home a run with a beautiful bunt on a suicide squeeze play, and she was 2 out of 3. Seeley walked 3 times. Sydney Spillers was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. Laura Rector had 2 singles. Rosalind Owens got an RBI when she took a bases-loaded walk. The Lady Trojans will play Campbell in Cumbie Friday at 4:30 p.m. The Saltillo Lady Lions softball team lost their district opener at Rivercrest 10-0 Tuesday. The game was scoreless through 3 innings before Rivercrest scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th and 6 more runs in the 5th inning. The game was called after 5 innings. Lady Lion Tori Mobley got the pitching loss, going all 5 innings and striking out 8. The Lady Lions' leading hitters were Madison Simmons and Rainey English, who both went 1 for 2 with singles.
I'm Elijah Drum from KSST Channel 18 News. This here is
Jim Ainsworth.
all right. Mr. Jim, what's your occupation?
Right now, I like to say I'm a writer. That's what I do primarily. Before that, I had a CPA firm and was in the financial services business for about 20 years.
Okay. How long have you been writing books, and why did you decide to start getting into that business?
I've been writing books for about 25 years. I started writing when I was in business, and I wrote 4 business books about financial planning, and then I wrote a chronology in 2000 about a trip we took across Texas by covered wagon and horseback, and I've written since then 2 more nonfiction books and 8 novels.
What is the process you go through to come up with all your ideas for your stories?
Well, I keep a recorder close by. If something comes up to my mind, or I run across an idea, and I put it in that recorder, and then I put it in my computer. I keep several computer documents or future novels, things that I read in the paper, things that I remember from the past that I think that would make interesting stories. I put those down. I've accumulated in my earlier years when I was still working full time, business cards and napkins and everything where I write something down I didn't want to forget, and eventually turned that into more sophisticated Word documents, and then I try to I start writing. Eventually we'll come up with an outline and wait for the ideas to come.
How many books have you written, and what all are they about, like the genre and everything about that?
The 4 business books were first, and then I wrote The Biscuits Across the Brazos, which is a chronology of the trip we took across Texas by horseback and covered wagon, and then I've written 8 novels. They really take place, they're almost in chronological order except for one. They go from the early 50s to the mid 70s, and tell stories of my childhood, of growing up in Northeast Texas. They're fiction, but they're still based on real events and real people, and so they the latest book is, I've moved up into the 70s. I've got a new character called T. Jessup, who is just happens to be a CPA, and this is in the second book for T, and we're in a small town called Riverby, and it's a combination of local town squares.
Now, I've seen some of the covers of your books and everything, the titles of them. Mm-hmm. Is there any reason why you chose to put river in most of them?
Yeah, and I don't know if I can explain the reason, but when I first wrote the first novel, I wanted the main character, the protagonist, I wanted his last name to be Rivers. I don't know why, but I just like that. And I think probably Walter Brennan, you're probably too young to remember Walter Brennan, but he was a movie star, and he had his own show he was on a TV show called The Real McCoys. And he had a song called That Mule, Old Rivers and Me, and I always liked Old Rivers, so that's the name of the family. And it eventually weaves its way into Rails to a River, that kind of thing. It is not the family, it's a river. And I seem to write about the Red River a lot, and it just kind of works its way in.
What's this new books that you're coming out with? What are they going to be about?
Well, the new one is Circle of Hurt, mm-hmm. and it continues with T. Jessup, who was introduced in Rails to a River, and his story, and he's moved back from West Texas to East Texas, and it revolves around a group of men and one woman who gather in an old general store in a downtown small town square, something like Sulphur Springs or Commerce or Cooper or Honey Grove, and they call the town Riverby. There is a place called Riverby, but this is a fictional town. Mm-hmm. And they gather around an old general store, and the only qualification for membership in that group is that they have to have suffered serious hurt in their lives or have caused serious hurt to other people. And I went from that premise, and T. Jessup qualifies for the group, but he's not a member. But it goes on from there, and it sounds like it's just going to be a bunch of guys and gals sitting around talking, but it's not. There's some suspense and some thrills in the book.
How would people be able to receive your new book?
Well, I'm going to have a book launch March the 28th, next Tuesday, at A&M Commerce Alumni Center at the corner of Stonewall and Bodart. They can come and enjoy some entertainment. We're going to have a Grammy Award-winning singer there, and we'll have food, and we'll have fellowship, so you can buy the books there. You can also buy them on my website. You can also buy them on Amazon, and pretty soon on Barnes & Noble.
Thank you for the interview, Mr.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.